Welcome to the British Eventing Show on the Echo Ratings Eventing podcast. Listeners, it is good to have you back with us. We have got lots in store for you because we are building up to the Magic Millions Festival of British Eventing at Gatcombe Park. We're going to see 5 new national champions crowned in the heart of Gloucestershire this weekend. And on this show, we're going to take you behind the scenes, both in terms of the event organisation, but also what it is like to ride at Gatcombe. So without further ado, let's dive in to our first guest on the show. It is none other than event director of the Magic Millions Festival of British Eventing, Peter Phillips. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
It is good to have you with us. Peter, first of all, 3 years, 3 really long years since we've had the Festival of British Eventing at Gatcombe. How have preparations been going for this year's event?
There's a real buzz about the place. Everyone's sort of fed up of not putting an event on. So it's actually really nice that everyone's excited. Everyone from just the team here at Gatcombe, as well as all our sponsors and partners, and everyone's just really excited for it to be back and getting back. There's just a general level of excitement and just thankfulness that we're actually able to put a show back on, and we're going to hopefully have a fantastic weekend of competition and big crowds.
I was going to say the crowds. I have always loved seeing how many people come and enjoy all of the competition at Gatcombe, and it's such a brilliant venue for viewing because you've got the big Gatcombe Bowl and you just can see so much of the cross-country course, but there's so much else going on as well. We'll talk about that in just a second. Excitement of having one of the big ones back has been a real key point coming through this season. We've seen, obviously, the return of badminton. We've got Burley coming up in a few weeks as well. And that buzz that you mentioned is very, very real. And I know that the riders have obviously all felt it. You guys from an event organisation have all felt it. We as kind of eventing fans definitely feel it. What is new? What is in store for 2022 compared to Gatcombe's past?
Well, I think first and foremost, I don't think there's drastically different that people will come and go, oh, what the hell's this? But listen, apart from still having 5 national championships, we're actually running. We're also running an open novice and open intermediate class this year as well. We've obviously got lots of pony club activities. The festival is really all about celebrating the sport of eventing, right from the grassroots all the way up to the professionals. And so from a sporting perspective, there's a lot going on. There'll be more horses running this year than we've ever had. So there'll be a lot of activity from a sporting perspective. And then for the spectators, we've got a fair area for the kids. We've got over 100 trade stands. We've got an enhanced food offering as well, which is fantastic. Last year, when we couldn't run the horse trials, we ran a small food and drink festival here, and so we sort of tried to take some of the best bits of the food and drink festival and incorporate it into the offering at festival this year. So there's a lot of subtle changes. I'm a big believer in evolution rather than revolution. So you will see those who attend regularly will see some changes, but I'm hoping that those changes will be people will welcome them and they'll be fairly logical.
You had me at enhanced food offering and the shopping village, I'll be honest. I mean, obviously I'm there for the competition, but those two things, plus there's an official cider, listeners. I mean, what more can I say?
We've this year we've obviously got Kick and Goat cider. We've got a local brewery, Stroud Brewery, are coming in and supporting the event as well as Champagne PF, which is the first time that they're venturing into the eventing world. So we've as well as a few other new partners that we've got on board. BioWave Go for the open intermediate classes, and then Breedon Schools for the novice open novice class. So we've and that's on top of our fantastic stable of event partners that we've had for 15 plus years, and we're eternally grateful to all of them for their, and especially over the last couple of years of not running, they've all worked with us. It's been a very much a collaborative approach, and I think that sort of collaborative approach has sort of only enhanced the excitement for actually the gates opening on Friday the 5th.
I think you make a really good point. And actually, it's something that I wanted to ask you about, because commercially, the sport has evolved enormously. You've got huge experience with Sports Entertainment Limited in other sporting areas, in the entertainment sector as well. What do you hope to bring to Gatcombe and to eventing in the future from that side of things? Because it's a topic of hot conversation, isn't it, around the commercialisation of the sport? Obviously enormously important for sort of safeguarding the future. And I think it's something you've just showcased there. New sponsors coming on board this year, and a very, very good working relationship with others who've been long-time supporters to enable both the Festival of British Eventing at Gatcombe, but also eventing as a whole to drive forward and kind of look forward to the future and get bigger and better.
I think the crux of it is that no two sponsors want the same thing out of any relationship with the Magic Millions Festival of British Eventing, because what we do here is because without our partners we simply couldn't run it. This event would not be viable without our partners. So we have a big focus on ensuring that they're fully bought into everything that we're doing. They feel like they're part of the event, and we have a pretty good, each of them require for them to get the sponsorship signed off for the following year, and every one of them has a different a different target, a different ROI that they're trying to hit. And understanding that and being able to provide a platform for them to be able to meet their commercial goals. Because at the end of the day, people sponsoring these sorts of events for because they enjoy eventing, in the corporate world, that doesn't stack up anymore. You really have to be able to provide a tangible ROI, which of which they can then go to their seniors and say, you know what, actually, we can justify doing this again next year. Whether it's the amount of cars that Land Rover sell, or the amount of houses that Hamptons sell, or whatever it happens to be, whatever those parameters are, everything is different. It could be the fact that actually there are no ROIs and people just enjoy coming to Gatcombe, they enjoy the atmosphere, they enjoy the family atmosphere, and they want to bring a table of their clients because it's a nice family event. These days, getting an invitation corporately for can't take your children, people sometimes get a bit will more likely say no than yes. So actually, this is a great opportunity to be able to bring your children for a fantastic day, family day out. And so that ticks all those boxes. So it really does depend on what is out of the event, and just to make sure that actually during the whole process of planning and all the rest of it, that you're working hand in glove with them to ensure that their goals are met.
I think that hits the nail on the head, and actually it means that they are getting the experience, as well as ultimately the bottom line is money, and it's got to be financially worthwhile for them to be able to invest, and they've got to see those returns. So it's being able to show them exactly what they're getting back for their money. What about this year? Obviously, we've missed Gatcombe over the last couple of years. The Hambro Sport Horses Bergam International Horse Trials did a great job last year in stepping in and hosting those national titles, but it is back home at the Festival of British Eventing for 2022. Can you give us a sneak peek? Captain Mark Phillips is the course designer. What can you tell us about his tracks that might be set for this weekend? Is there anything new? Can you let us in on any secrets?
There's a few new features around the course. There are some significant changes. Unfortunately, we're not using the Hamptons barn that the Open has jumped through for nearly 35 years. Cross country course is going to stay below the lane this year. So there's a few other features. I think ultimately, I'm not going to give too much of the game away in terms of what he has and hasn't done. I will say that he's what he and David Evans have created. Can say this, less than 2 weeks out now. The course already looks stunning. It's we've been doing a lot of work on the in terms of mowing the grass and mowing the track since May. So there's a fantastic there's a fantastic sward of grass around the track. which will help. A lot of work next week, which is the week of the event. Whether it be watering or aerating or whatever we need to do to improve the footing. So we've got a very good base. We had a decent amount of rainfall over the weekend, so that's hopefully that will green everything up as well. He's always slightly limited in terms of where he can go at Gatcombe, but he always throws in one or two little sneaky numbers, which I'm sure a lot of the riders will notice when they get here. But again, I've said this for the last few years. If you think you're going to turn up and just think, oh, it's the same course, I still get confused, and I've walked around it a few times. So definitely worth walking the track.
It's interesting. Just going back to your point about the Hamptons barn being taken out in the British Open. So, listeners, for anybody who has been to Gatcombe before or who hasn't been, the cross country time is tough at Gatcombe. It has always been that way. That the terrain is challenging. That there's a few twists and turns out there. It is not an easy track to make the time, and it always plays a huge part on the leaderboard. The Hamptons barn for the British Open used to have to basically do a whole 360 circle, and it was a real sort of sap on your clock, because you had to be economical, but you absolutely had to respect it. And I would just say that actually, I don't know what else he's done elsewhere on the track. Maybe he's thrown a few more sneaky surprises in there later on, but actually that will possibly make the time that little bit more within catching distance. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, is it ever catchable at Gatcombe? We'll see.
I mean, I think it's a valid point, a big challenge, but I think the simple fact of the matter is that there are no less jumping efforts. So despite the fact you've taken essentially that loop was 3 fences. Gatcombe is tough. It's a tough terrain to come to, but at the same time, it's a championship courses, and so the horses have to be fit. You have to be ready. You have to be. This is for the Top Spec Corinthian Cup, for the Dodson Hall Novice Championship, for the Evelyn Partners Intermediate Championship. These are big steps up for into the next level of horses. Eventing career, and so it should be, because you should come here and have if you have a good round here with a horse, then you're in a pretty good place that horse is going to go on and do some good things in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen some real stars come through those national championship classes, and some real cross-country machines come to the fore, which I personally always love to see in the sport. And Peter, what are you most looking forward to? Obviously, it's a pretty stressful week. There's a lot going on. Do you get a chance to enjoy it? And if so, what is the moment that you really, really do kind of take a moment, take a breath and go, God, it's good to be back?
The breath is normally taken on Sunday after prize giving is done.
I was going to say, as the last car leaves the lorry park.
Yeah. One of the things I'm really looking forward to this year is actually my girls are 10 and 11 now, and obviously they haven't really enjoyed the festival and really enjoy everything that it's got to offer. So, they're super excited about the weekend, and I think maybe that's I'm in a bit of the planning process. It's like, well, if I can make my children happy and provide enough entertainment, enough things for them to do over the course of the weekend, then I've ticked the box. But and hopefully tick the box for a few other people as well. But again, it was about that age that I started to really enjoy the festival as it was back then. And for me, I would love my kids and their friends and their generation to experience the festival like we did, where it was a major landmark in our summer, and whether it be through helping out or whether it just be the fact that they can they've got a fantastic event in their backyard. That for me is an exciting part of it.
Inspiring the future generation, inspiring the future event directors, possibly, of the Festival of British Eventing at Gatcombe Park. Watch this space. Peter, thank you. Good luck. And we're looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds.
No, thank you. And it's exciting. As you said, we're all really excited. We've got there were good entry numbers for all of the classes. So, it should be a cracking weekend of competition.
Absolutely. And listeners, we all know if I'm not in the Horse and Country commentary studio, I will probably be in either the shopping village or the food hall. You can find me there. Peter, thank you. And listeners, we hope you enjoyed a little insight into what it is like behind the scenes. Now, we're going to go and hear what it is like to ride at the Magic Millions Festival of British Eventing at Gatcombe Park. So as promised, listeners, we're going to get an insight into what it is like to ride around Gatcombe Park. And I'm joined by one of the contenders for the British Open Championships this year at the Magic Millions Festival of British Eventing, Alex Bragg. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
I'm really good, actually. It is good to have you back. And we're looking forward to hearing more about Gatcombe and Quindiva, who is your ride in the British Open this year. First of all, give us an insight from a rider's perspective as to what it is like to ride at Gatcombe.
I think so. The festival at Gatcombe is obviously our national championship, so there's quite a lot of prestige surrounding the event. It's a lovely venue. The courses are great. Obviously, you get several thousand people come along usually to watch, so the atmosphere is good. It's unique in its sort of style. The terrain there, the main show jumping arena offers lots of challenges in a sense that it's not level ground. So the actual sort of jumping is very sort of up and down and undulating, as well as it being a bit of a sort of amphitheatre sort of feel. You have the marquees on two sides, and then the other side goes raised up in the bank. So you come in and you see a lot of faces. The horses and they are right up against the boards. So that can be quite intimidating and for the horses, and it creates a sort of real pressure cooker feel. So it's different. It's very different, but it feels special. And then the cross country. Well, the cross country is exceptionally demanding at Gatcombe, and so that challenge in itself for any competitor, if you can come out of it well, you feel pretty good about yourself. So yeah, there's lots of great things. Obviously, there's bits of shopping for people that are visiting as well, and lots of other attractions. One of my daughters is doing the Pony Club jumping, I think, in one of the side rings. So I should be dashing there to watch after I've had hopefully an exhilarating around the cross country. So yeah, there's plenty for everyone, really.
It's that family feel again, isn't it? I thought you were going to say one of my daughters could be found in the shopping village, spend with your credit card or something there for a second, Alex. Possibly true as well. What about favourite Gatcombe memories? Because there's been some good ones. It's a place that you've enjoyed a good deal of success. I'm guessing there's one particular one that stands out.
So I had a good run with a horse called Shenandoah Percy in the intermediate championships. He finished second. I think it was just pipped by Tom McEwen actually that year. So that was great. But I think we always keep going back to the Event Rider Masters and how exciting that sort of event was. And when they held it at Gatcombe, I was there with Zagreb. I think we'd been selected again as like a reserve for Europeans or something like that. And I thought, you know what, let's just go there and have a crack. And he podiumed there. He finished third. And I think that might have been my first podium in the Masters series. And that's always quite exciting, being there, champagne flying around everywhere and everything cheering. So it was just an added bonus, as well as it being the Open Championships. So yeah, that was great, and I learned a lot from that. So Greb actually went to Gatcombe doing the Novice Championships when he was only 6 years old. So we were both quite naive at that point. He finished double clear. I think he maybe finished around 10th or something. But that was great. And then to go back in the Open Championships in the Event Masters was wonderful, and to have such a great result was great. Really good fun.
And what about the horse that you bring forward this year? Tell us about Quindiva.
So Quindiva is an exceptional jumping mare. She's very careful in the show jumping, light on her feet, really athletic, and over the last sort of few years, she's really learned her trade in the cross country, and she is fast. I mean, fast and manoeuvrable. And like I said, she is light on her feet. This is something that I've learned with my few visits to Gatcombe at the festival. The terrain there is very demanding. So that adds a sort of new dimension to the actual event. So you would have the dressage, the show jumping, the cross country technicality, plus the terrain. You're almost adding an extra sort of phase to it, as you would with something like Burley or even Chatsworth, if you like. So that can, now I'm a little bit more experienced, my strategy of which horses I would take to the championships at Gatcombe has changed. And necessarily Zagreb, although he did exceptionally well, he got some time penalties there. It wasn't his main focus, but he was just coming back into the competition sort of stuff, so he wasn't at his fittest. But Quindiva, being that slightly smaller, lighter horse, I think will nip round the terrain really well and gallop up the hill in the sort of big, bold field towards the second half of the course. You have a really steep hill you need to gallop up to before coming back down to the final water, and then another relentless climb to the finish. So you need a horse which has got a lot of stamina and hasn't sort of tired itself out doing all the twist turns, ups and down earlier on in the course. And Quindiva, I should think, should excel at that. So that's why we've targeted her for the Open Championships this year.
And she's had some good form as well, hasn't she? She was very impressive. I saw her at Barbary when she won the 3-star there and looked very, very comfortable in doing so. What would it mean? You are a very competitive man, Alex Bragg, in case our listeners hadn't realised this. You love a crowd. You love an occasion. What would it mean to be crowned British Open champion?
Oh, well, it'd be great. You know, I've come close in all of the sort of championships, really, but never actually won one. So, and to, like I say, it's very prestigious. Princess Anne is a huge supporter of eventing and lover of eventing, and obviously with Zara still competing and herself, it's lovely to have somebody who's so invested in the sport and such a great sort of figure to be presenting the prize. It just adds a little bit extra, and I think there's a few events in our calendar in the UK that really get you noticed, and this would be one of them. So yeah, I'm really sort of hoping it goes well and the mare gets there in good nick and fit. And yeah, like I said, I've chosen her to go there because I think she has the sort of talents to excel there. It's not necessarily a show jumping, a dressage, competition. We found that out when Zagreb was there in the Master Series. He went in, higher than anybody else. I think Gemma Tattersall's won that year on Arctic Soul with 2 fences down, but because the horse was so quick, it ended up at the top of the leaderboard. And I feel she can sort of post a competitive dressage. She's not going to be in the lead, but because it's such a demanding track on the cross country, and the show jumping arena is so influential with how the horses react to the crowd and that feeling. If you've got a horse that is very good in those phases, you can easily climb a lot. And if you're there or thereabouts after the dressage, you can then go in with quite a lot of confidence into those final phases and give yourself a good chance. So yeah, this is where a little bit of sort of strategy and tactics and experience can come into it. So no, it would mean a lot. Any wins means a lot, but obviously at the national championships, you also get your name, and that's there forever. If you win there, that year comes up and that's you, and no one can take that away from you.
Absolutely. What will be the plan with her post Gatcombe? All things going well for the rest of the year. Is there a big 3-day on the horizon for her?
Yeah, so we'll keep her in the UK, and I think again, like, you know, running on the same lines as Gatcombe, with a horse like her who is a good galloping horse. She's very athletic. She's fast. You kind of think, actually, could we give her a go at Burghley? So if she gets to Gatcombe and she copes with the terrain really, really well, and she finishes strong, then I would feel quite confident at possibly putting an entry in there. If we feel more conservative and she's not quite ready for a 5-star, then we'll go to Blenheim, which is a lovely show. Really enjoy Blenheim, but yeah, I suppose if we'll see how she copes to Gatcombe.
Watch this space. It feels like there's a lot coming up at Gatcombe this weekend for you guys. But she is undeniably very, very, very talented. She's owned by the Rowe family as well, who I know have been huge supporters of yours. And the whole of Team Bragg over the last few years. So I'm sure they will enjoy the occasion as well. Are they coming to watch her?
Yeah, they don't like to miss out on too much. And as I said, there's a wonderful atmosphere at Gatcombe, and that's half of the sport. You know, that's the wonderful draw about eventing. It is a huge family affair. It attracts people, and it's just a really nice, enjoyable sort of environment to be in. And hopefully the sun will be shining, it'll stay warm. They'll put on a great show, great ground. We can put on the spectacle, and they will definitely be there to enjoy it without a doubt.
What more could we ask for? A great day out, great competition, great sport, and fun for all the family. That is what we are definitely looking forward to at Gatcombe. Look, Alex, good luck. Big weekend coming up, and I'm sure there will be plenty of people, myself including, rooting for yourself and Queen Diva.
Oh, thank you very much, Nicole.
And don't let us down. If you do win or you take the national title, Alex, we're expecting big celebrations.
I don't think I could stop myself, Nicole. Even if I tried to be conservative, I just can't help it. So I hope I just wouldn't make too much of a fool of myself.
No, never. Good luck, Alex.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it, listeners. This month's British Eventing Show on the Echo Ratings Eventing podcast. All eyes on the Festival of British Eventing at Gatcombe Park this weekend. We're looking forward to seeing who will be our new national champions. And as Peter has said, it is a great day out for all of the family. If you can't make it in person, then it will be streamed live on Horse and Country TV on H&C+. So do go and check it out there. But for now, that is all we've got time for. We will be back next month with a brand new episode of the British Eventing Show.